Hey there, growers. A beautiful day in the garden. I are ready to take you along for another massive garden harvest. Let's go. I think a fun way to start this harvest video is by grabbing a bunch of these grapes. Look at how ripe they are. Perfect for making some jelly. You'll notice I've got this insect netting over the top. That's because the birds are starting to get greedy and steal a lot of the grapes. But just look at these clusters. Beautiful. They're just looking fantastic. Before we grab some of these, let me show you the Niagara grapes to my left. Those will be ripe a little later, and we can make jellies and stuff out of both types. It's fantastic to have a bunch of different varieties in the garden. Look, we've got a few cucumbers hiding under here too. These look like the Socrates, one of my favorites. And whoops, I even see one up here. Actually, two. What a gift. You can see we've got the cucumbers growing next to the grapes. Pretty cool. Tuck knows not to go for the grapes. He's been in the garden since he was a pup, so he has a good idea of what he should and shouldn't eat. We let him snack on the things he really likes. He's not hungry just now, though, but let's keep moving and grab a bunch of grapes real quick. Let's get a couple of these beautiful clusters. We're going to get enough to make a nice batch of jelly. We'll fill up this bowl, come back and grab some more. I'll grab a couple of clusters at once. We've got some really nice sets on the other side of the garden, too. Okay, let's get this set over here. You can see we've got some nice ones in there. We try to pick up any grapes that fall, just to make sure Tuck doesn't get to them, but he's just not interested. He'll smell them, but he never wants to snack on them. Good boy? Let's keep moving. We've got a lot more to get. Okay, I just dropped off the grapes. Now let's grab some fresh Honeycrisp apples right here. Typically, these aren't ready until about October, but I want to show you something. You can actually pick these apples relatively early, and they still have an amazing, crisp, sweet flavor. Here's a Honeycrisp apple I got at the store the other day. Look how green this thing is compared to that one. They're picking these apples when they're at this ripeness. This one's already riper than this one, and it has a lot of time to go. We're going to pick one of these apples, try it, and see how delicious they are. Let's cut this one off. It looks pretty good. Pretty good shape. It's not even that small considering the size of the tree and how much fruit it actually has on it. We'll grab a couple of these apples today. I want to shine it up a little, show you, and then we'll taste it. Honeycrisp is my favorite tasting apple, so to be able to try one fresh from my own garden, organic, I just can't wait. Let's shine this baby up. Even Tuck's excited for this one. Good boy. He's having fun out here, too. Here she is, shined up. So she looks a little more like this one, but still, look at the difference between homegrown and store-bought. This thing still has a lot of time to ripen. When it's fully ripe in about October, it'll be more aromatic with like a flowery, stronger smell. Right now, it's going to be a little tart. I can't wait. They call these the Honeycrisp because of their incredible texture. By far my favorite tasting apple and the best texture. You cannot compare it. That's why they call it the crisp. Some apples are almost mealy on the inside. The crisp on this thing is just incredible. That's why they're called the Honeycrisp. Take another look. You can see it's not starchy at all. That's how we want it. We'll grab a couple of these today, and then we'll stagger our harvest so we can extend it and eat them over a longer period of time, instead of just getting all the apples at once. Let's keep harvesting. We've got a lot of stuff to grab. This raised bed right here, I know we've got some fresh cucumbers in here, like right here. This one's about as ripe as I want them to be. Anything past that would be a little too far. Let's grab this. I know we have some peppers on the cusp too, the Jimmy Nardellos. When it comes to the peppers, like these ones, I like to grab them a little early. If you grab your peppers early, it'll continue to produce more flowers, so you'll get more production later in the season. So we'll grab just a few of those little peppers there. The Crayola de Casinos haven't colored up yet, so we'll give them a little bit of time. But I've got a lot of cucumbers ready over here. This has been an incredibly productive fence line for me. This little trellis area, if you remember back in the spring, I was growing a lot of peas in this section, and then after those finished, we put the cucumbers in, so now we're getting good production with the cucumbers. Another one down here. We've been growing some of the white cucumbers. This one's far past, but still pretty cool looking, so we'll add some of those. Looks like Tuck found one of our Jimmy Nardello peppers. He didn't want a cucumber earlier, he wants one of the peppers, so he's probably getting a little sick of the cucumbers now that we're at this time of the year. He said, let's switch it up, let's get something a little sweet, let's hit up one of the Jimmy Nardellos. Let me get a couple more cucumbers that I'll grab here. Let's get this one up top back here. And then let's get this one. This is a pretty big one over here. Looks like there were two hiding. What a gift. And then I want to show you an eggplant that's over here too. So we've got so many cucumbers. I've got an eggplant over here that I'm going to harvest a little later, but it still needs a little more time. And then in a little while, I've got a bunch of different kinds of eggplants I'm going to show you. Some cool looking ones, but this one's still got a little bit of time. I believe this is the Rosa Bianca. I love the way this looks. And then in the other raised bed, we've got some peppers that are doing real well. So these ones just need a little bit of time right here. Some massive ones too. We've got some of the golden wonder peppers, and I've even got some huge Gilboa oranges. And look at these peppers over here. As we see, and back here, look how productive this one is. Oh my gosh. As we can see, we're going to have a huge pepper harvest soon. And then in the other raised bed, we've got some peppers that are doing real well. So these ones just need a little bit of time right here. Some massive ones too. We've got some of the golden wonder peppers, and I've even got some huge Gilboa oranges. And look at these peppers over here. As we see, and back here, look how productive this one is. Oh my gosh. As we can see, we're going to have a huge pepper harvest soon. Let's move our way through the food forest and grab some yellow squash back here. As you can see, we've got so many squash and different kinds of watermelons, cantaloupes and stuff growing. What I like to do is plant them in this thin strip, the bed I built, and then I let them trellis all along the ground. Because I have wood chips on the ground, it makes it so that my fruit won't rot on me, which is really good. Here's the 49er squash. Look at the color, look at that, look at the brightness. It's just stunning, if you ask me. Absolutely beautiful. And they've got another one over here. Let's grab this one. It's very small, but we're still going to get it so that it keeps producing more squash. These small ones are so good. You can even eat them raw because they're so sweet and delicious. And check this right here. Here's the cantaloupe that's going to be ripening a little later. I can't pronounce the name, so I'll put it in the video. And we've got another one back here. And then we have these small little watermelons forming too, fantasy watermelon. So we've got a few different kinds of watermelons, the sugar cube watermelon, nothing that takes too long. But let's keep moving because we've got more stuff to grab. Let's keep going. We've got a lot more stuff to harvest. Let's grab some of these tomatoes right here in a pallet raised bed with the beautiful zinnias poking through, the pink zinnias, the oranginias. It looks great. We've got the pink bumblebee. Let's grab some of these. Pretty cool looking tomato. Not the best flavor, but this is what it looks like when it's super ripe. It has a beautiful color. Look at that. Striking. Absolutely striking. And then we've got some sweet treats. Let's grab a few of these. These are delicious ones, and these are good late into the season. I just did a video on tomatoes, if you guys want to see that. Keep grabbing some more on this side. The Rosella. This one's producing really well for me, even though it is getting some of the splitting in some of the fruit. So it kind of reminds me of the sun gold cherry, how it splits like that. So we've got a lot of these to grab. Look at this setup right above me here. Oh, I'm not going to grab everyone on camera because my hands just aren't quick enough. And here's the Esterina cherry. I was calling it Disterna, but that's probably because I can't read, so this one's the Esterina cherry. And look at these. You know I like switching the colors too. I want the yellow next to the red, next to the purple, next to the pink. It's just anything to get me out here more. I love being out here, and Tuck loves being out here with me. So let's drop some of these down, and you can start to see some of the colors coming together. Beautiful. And let's get some more on the other side. This pallet bed has been super productive, really productive for me. I want to grab some of these yellow pear tomatoes. These ones are delicious. really big pear tomatoes this year. I don't love this phenotype. You know, even within yellow pear tomatoes, there are different genetics within just that variety, so I don't like this particular one, to be honest. But let's get some of the greatest tomatoes ever, the Super Sweet 100. Whoops! These things are so ripe, they're falling off. And look, as we move up, come on. This is just crazy. Look at over here. If you guys remember, I just was out here harvesting the other day, and there's still so many more to grab. Honestly, I feel like a kid a lot of times or something, like Christmas. It's just so fun and joyful. Keep going up, keep going up. This thing's over 10 feet tall, no joke. And then it wouldn't be complete without some of our favorite variety, the Sun Gold Cherry. It's a lot of fun to be out here and just feel like you're almost food shopping. It's like, what do I feel like having today? But you don't have to pay any money. Maybe I'll have some tomatoes, some cucumbers, some grapes, some apples. Drop these in, and let's grab a couple of these lemon boys right here, just to finish it off. A nice little set, looking beautiful. Look at that beautiful bowl right there. We've got a lot more still to grab. But it looks like our buddy over there is a little busy working. It's so funny. He has his, 6 or 7 holes throughout the garden in different places where he can watch me work. So, when it's hot out, he just digs a little deeper into his hole until he gets nice, cool ground, and then he lays down. There's a hazelnut that's growing right next to him there. It's gotten pretty big, and he's stuck in the roots of it now. So looks like he's almost to a good spot. There he is. What a good guy. This guy's so hilarious. Hit the like button if you love seeing him. He never quits. Even when he's just finished digging his hole, he's out ready to keep harvesting. Let's keep going, boy. We've got a lot of stuff to grab. I emptied the bucket. Let's fill it up again. To do that, we'll start in this keyhole raised bed. This squash, I've shown it before, but it is insane. This is the one that I've rooted, and this has got to be one of the most productive squash plants I've ever had. Let me bring it to a spot right here. It has so many heads on this vine now. So right here, we've got 2 squash that are ready, beautiful, one here, and then another one in the back that's gotten kind of large, but it's growing, so the squash is growing so fast. These ones are kind of hard to get to, but we're going to grab this. And this variety I love so much. This is the Castano Romanesco. This is an Italian variety, and it's just so productive. There's one vine head right there, and we've got 2 squash from it now. Let's move over here. This is the same plant. If you can see back right here, there's another head of the vine, and it's got a squash on it, so we're going to grab that. And then if you look over here, another head to the vine. It's got small squash. Not the harvest, none to harvest, but look at that. That's all the same plant. Incredibly productive, an incredible Italian variety. Look along the fence line. We have so many purple beans to harvest. I'm going to grab a bunch of those, but I'm not just going to show you me grabbing every single one. But look at them. It's just incredible how many we have. And then if you move along, I love these because they have the purple flowers. It looks so beautiful. Move to the left. We planted some scarlet runners, so we have those red flowers. So you've got the purple flowers mixed with the red. I just think it looks so beautiful. And here's another Castano Romanesco. This is the one I said I planted later, just in case my other one slowed down. This one's in high production right now. The squash got a little away from us because, we turned our back, and by the time we looked, it was this big. I've got a bunch of cucumbers ready in here, though, looking fantastic. And like I mentioned, that's an Italian variety for the cucumbers. Right here, we're growing one of my favorite Japanese varieties. So in my opinion, the Japanese are incredible with the cucumbers. They've got some of the best varieties. This is a white cucumber right here. Another white one right here. But let's grab some of the Japanese varieties I was telling you about. They're over here. Here's a small version of it, a young one, but they get much larger. So, over here is one that's a little too big. Let me show you. Look at this baby, beautiful. And then this is a perfect one right here. This is perfect. This is an excellent cucumber. They grow really well, but the flavor on these is so good. So, like I mentioned, that Italian variety is great, and then this Japanese for cucumbers is good. So sometimes certain countries' varieties are great at doing certain things. Still the same plant. Another one, and then I see another good one in here. So this is 4 right there, and there's even more. Look back here. Look at this. Just hit it in the back. Crazy. So these are our later producing cucumbers. In other sections, we had ones planted early that I've already removed and started to plant peas in this spot right here. We had squash cabbage that we got a bunch out of, and now we're getting cucumbers, and then we'll plant cabbage again soon, and then we'll be able to get a whole another harvest out of this thing again. So just that little spot, we've got pounds and pounds of food, not to mention all the tomatoes in the back, and then some cucumbers that I'm sure I missed also. And then right next to me here was just so many more tomatoes that are on the cusp of being ripe. It looks like it's about time to empty this bowl again and then grab some more tomatoes and stuff. Let's fill up the bowl again. To do that, we'll start off with some eggplants we have right here. This is the ping tong long eggplant. Look at the shape and color of these. Absolutely beautiful. I love that. And another one back here. This is the ping pong. Eggplants are so productive, one of the most productive varieties, an early producer too. Then right next to us, right here, we have one of my most beautiful eggplants, I think, of all of them. This is the Antiqua Stop Away. This is Antiqua eggplant. Look at this thing. This is one of those eggplants that you don't even want to eat because it just looks so beautiful, the white with the purple striping. I love that. And then over here we have, this is the Gilboa orange pepper I was talking about. These things get absolutely massive. Look at the size of the peppers. Other side too. These are so cool and so big. And then more Rosa Bianca eggplants. So this is a beautiful eggplant too. And then I am growing some Black King eggplants. They're just not my favorite ones. Let's move over here where we have so many more tomatoes. Look at this. I did just harvest the other day, but we have a lot more to grab. At this time of the year, the tomatoes are really ripening quickly. I'm not going to just grab all the tomatoes again, though. I feel like that would be a little too repetitive. I just wanted to give you an idea of everything that we have so that when I do harvest it at the end, you know where it came from. More tomatoes over there, and then apples right here. Here's a little bit of a later producer for us. So we're just going to follow those along, eat those a little bit later. And then I wanted to grab some ground cherries over here. These ground cherries are an annual that's so cool to have in your backyard if you don't have a lot of space, so that when they're ripe, they're all on the ground. Look at this. So this is the perfect time to grab them. So we'll just come by and grab all these ground cherries. And it's so cool. They stay in these little, sacks to protect them. So when you do want them, you can just pop it open like that. Little Aunt Molly's ground cherry. A really sweet, kind of a unique flavor. So they're really good. Let me drop that in though, and we've got a bunch to grab. We'll get a lot of them. I also want to show you, look at some of these zinnias right here. I love these zinnias, man, so much. Incredibly beautiful and great producers. They just, throughout the whole season. Here's another one too. Look at this. This is just striking. That's so beautiful. I want to grab a couple of green beans over here too. Here's some of the dragon tongue beans. And notice in the background, this is where I removed all my cucumbers and stuff, and I have my peas planted now. So the peas will be producing for us into the fall. But look at this, my favorite green bean. It's cool. Look how relatable the striping on the green bean is with the Antiqua eggplant. Pretty cool. It's amazing. It's amazing. Nature loves its reds, its purples, its greens, its yellows. You can never paint a better picture, in my opinion, than nature does. So all I try to do is kind of set everything into place, and then the picture paints itself. I'm not the artist. I'm just the one who, sets everything up, and then, nature does the rest. It's pretty rewarding. Before I let you go, I wanted to grab some more grapes. This variety over here is a really cool one, and this is what I consider to be probably the best American seedless grape variety. They're delicious, and because they're a North American grape, they are pretty disease resistant, which is excellent. This is the Canada scrape, and one thing that stinks is, look, the birds have really started to go after them already. so I'm going to have to harvest them now. I've got a good amount of sets across here that I'll grab, and I have another spot where I have more grapes. One thing you'll notice is the grapes are pretty small. One reason for that is because when you get grapes from the store, a lot of times the growers will dip them in like a growth hormone to make the grapes bigger. So these aren't the largest grapes, but they are incredibly good, really sweet and seedless. So this is my favorite grape to probably snack on fresh. It's not very big, but it packs an incredible punch, sweet, not tart at all. And not like some of the slip skins where the skin is thick and hard to chew. This one almost melts in your mouth, like a true grape, but way more flavor. Let me show you some more sets over here, because some of the nicer sets are down here and over here. These are some perfect grapes right here. Look at these. So I'm going to grab all these, and then I've got a spot where I have more candidates. I'll show you real quick before I let you go. In this section, right back here, we have more candidate grapes, and these sets are way nicer. Look at some of these sets in here. This is a spot where I don't think the birds have really found, so this is the difference when the birds haven't really found them yet. There's some nice ones under here too, and back here, look at these. So these ones, we've got some decent sets, and we're going to harvest all these because, again, these are some of my favorite flavored fresh grapes. These are the candidates. So delicious. Now, I want to show you something that's probably getting repetitive, and it's this, the blueberries. I've been coming back to these blueberry plants and harvesting them for a long time now, and like I said, it's getting repetitive, but I want to share that with you because that's how it should be. You should be harvesting blueberries and all your stuff for long periods of time, extending your seasons as best as you possibly can. There are so many blueberries on this. Let me give you an overview of just how many there are as I'm picking. That's today's video, guys. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you got something out of it. Here's the harvest right here. As you can see, we had an excellent harvest today. Couldn't be more thankful and grateful for all the different kind of fruits and veggies on here. I mean, grapes, tomatoes, blueberries, cucumbers, zucchini, beans, tomatoes, peppers, apples, eggplants, anything you can think of. All organic, all from the backyard. That's why we love just being out here. There's nothing more fun to me than doing this stuff. Look at Tuck. He got a new toy. He buried it, but he just refound it. He's probably going to bury it again. He's so hilarious. The sticker's still on it. This guy's just such a jokester. Go boy. So funny. Thank you for being a part of Team Grow. It means a lot to me and Tuck that you're contributing. I also want to thank everyone who's giving the super thanks for the channel. That means a lot too. And, we just make these videos because we want people to have this. I'm not doing this to kind of show off or anything. I'm just showing these videos to encourage you to try to do the same thing, and also to show you that a lot of the things I'm showing you in other videos, that it actually works. This is the product of, all the investments. So I think it's a lot of fun. I wanted to say before I let you go too, to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, share with your friends. Don't forget to check out the merch down below. Tuck wander around somewhere, burying his toys. We're back again, real soon.